Hello and welcome to the Jesmond Joggers podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Heide, and today we are joined by the social butterfly, Ellie Nicklin. Enjoying the head pop there.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a very catchy jingle. I'm very glad it was passed on from podcast host to podcast host. It's a nice little link between them.
Ellie, welcome. As people can probably tell by, if they're watching it, by both of our outfits and by the hair that we both did, we're doing 2 back-to-back episodes, but this time we're going to hear about the much more interesting Ellie. So if you'd like to, just give us a quick introduction to yourself.
Hi, so I'm Ellie and I joined Jesmond Joggers in November of 2022. When I can, I very much enjoy coming to club sessions, but I think the social butterfly term Andrew used there was because I also really, really enjoy all the other kind of spin-off groups that Jesmond Joggers has to offer. Outside of running, I work in the project management team for the National Trust. And what else? Love a parkrun, love being near the coast. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
Because you're originally from Surrey?
Guildford. Yeah, Guildford, Surrey.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you prefer the coast to there?
There's no coast in Surrey; it's landlocked. So, very much so.
Exactly. Do you prefer being by the coast to living where you
100%. Yeah, definitely. I've always really loved going to the seaside and just being by water. So I got into running really late, but I have been able to swim since before my memory starts. Really lucky that my parents kind of prioritise that swimming lessons for me as a young'un. And so always, and like my dad's really into sailing, and just always really enjoy being by the coast. And I didn't move. I think a lot of people have heard why I've moved up to Newcastle, and the coast wasn't a major factor in that. I think people know that I actually only visited Newcastle once before I moved up here. I visited for 24 hours and then after that made the decision to move up. So the coast has been a great, great bonus on top of that. Such a big part of my life, actually, thanks mainly to the fantastic people who are in the JJ's swimming/sup group.
I don't know why you moved up to Newcastle, so I'm quite intrigued to know. No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's because of a job. So, so I'm from Guildford in Surrey, and I went to the University of York for my degree, and then I moved back home, and then did a few more jobs for the National Trust back down there, and then I think, like a lot of us, after COVID, took a stock of their life and thought, I love my parents very dearly, but I can't live with them this for much longer. And I always wanted to come back up north to the east side of the country. And Newcastle was a bit further than I expected, a bit further north. But there was a job within the National Trust. So I applied, got it. I came for a quick walk around the property after driving up the 300 miles or whatever it is in between. And so stayed overnight in Newcastle. And then the next time I visited was when I drove up with all my stuff and moved in. It was a bit of a surprise. A lot of people quite shocked. when I told my other friends that I was doing it, but it has been the hands down best decision I've probably ever made. And no small part of that is because of the Jesmond Joggers as well, to just do a bit of plugging. Um, yeah, it's really, really fantastic. And I'm excited to talk about my experience with JJ's a little bit more.
So was your first foray into running through Jesmond? Or have you...
No, so I had done a little bit of running before that. Sorry, you're going to finish your question? I interrupted
That's it.
you. Okay, cool.
That's it.
Sorry. um, so yeah, I had done a little bit of running before. I did the classic Couch to 5K with Sarah Millican as my coach, being like, go on, Pat, have a banana, which actually is very sage advice. You should always be careful with your fueling. And it's because, so I've always been able to swim. Swimming's kind of my main sport, if you will. And then my friend used to live in Mexico City, and me and my other friend Cal decided to go visit her for holiday. And Cal's really like, he's a national hockey player. So when Chess gave us the choice between a holiday in Mexico on the beach or in the jungle and an adventure holiday, Cal went, yeah, adventure. And I didn't feel like I could turn it down, even though I was really unfit. Not very strong at all. So, in an effort to get fitter for the holiday and be able to join in all the activities, I did Couch to 5K, and then never looked back. So, apart from the injuries, um, I have, yeah, once I completed the 5K, got onto a steady pattern of doing like 4 miles 3 times a week. Gradually built it up from there. I did my first, there was another running club I joined down south before COVID. And with them, I think I did my first 10K, which felt like an awfully long way at the time. It felt like a huge, huge step from 4 miles. But it was only really since joining JJ that a kind of whole new world, or JJ's, a whole new world of running was opened up for me. Would never think about doing a half. Thought that was extremely intimidating. Sometimes still think it's really intimidating. And, like trail running, hadn't heard of it. All these other crazy adventures that are wonderful that people do, that was just not, I was just not aware of what that was, and if I could have the chance of doing it. So yeah, JJ's kind of entered a whole new, through JJ's entered a whole new world of kind of sport and activity. Yeah.
When you weren't running, were you outdoorsy anyway? Because I wonder whether there's
Yeah.
synergy between your job and I don't know if people know, and I'm not going to get this exact, but one of the
That's
main
right.
goals of the National Trust
Yeah.
is to encourage all
Yeah.
people from all
Yeah.
backgrounds to
Yeah.
get outdoors and see
Yeah.
nature, see beautiful buildings on the urban city belt, I think it's called, which is what you work on. Do you think the
Yeah. So I work
synergies with
on the
your
urban part.
interests of the job and being outdoors and seeing nature through running and running with people? Do you think there's
Yeah, I mean that's the bit that I
that?
enjoy running most about, is the fact that you just see more, you see more of the world, and you get to be out uh in nature longer, and you get to go, especially with JJ's, get to go to all these amazing places that you would experience otherwise through trail runs and runs in the Lake District, and even like up and down the coast. I think it's just really good to get yourself outside. And then I suppose in terms of synergy with the job, we were all always pretty outdoorsy. Used to go to the lakes like 3 or 4 times a year, but southern lakes. And yeah, I think maybe the marrying between is I love being outside so much, and I see all the benefits it gives me mentally and physically, and I'm then through my job really aware of what a unique experience that is. There's not many people who feel comfortable in the outdoors. It can be a really intimidating place. Um, and I, as part of my team's mission, is to encourage and install systems to help people get outside, build an appreciation for nature, beauty, and history. That's the strapline. And yeah, that's what kind of keeps me motivated, knowing that I had such a unique experience and want to kind of make that more widely available to a wider range of people.
I think it's amazing and definitely can see the synergies and it definitely fits your sort of personality to a T. I think Martha and I spoke as well on that episode about she feels running's really underrepresented in a lot of different sort of communities, and it's very similar, I guess, the ethos of what Parkrun's doing with and like similar to the National Trust as well. You're also a big parkrun goer. When did you start getting into parkrun, and what do you think that sort of added as well?
Yeah, quite late. So my local park run, I think I only went like 6 months after I finished Couch to 5K. I felt really intimidated, which you shouldn't. No one should feel intimidated doing a park run, and especially after park run volunteering. And I don't know if you'd agree with this, Andrew. The amount of people you see doing park run is amazing. It's absolutely spectacular, the systems they have in place to make everybody feel welcome. Um, and yeah, little plug for parkrun volunteering. I think everyone should volunteer like twice a year, because it's great to give back to a system that you partake in. And then also, you see a whole different side when you're a volunteer rather than a participant in parkrun. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think yeah, I you get one appreciation for the work ethic and workload that goes into making it happen, and then probably a second appreciation for the vast range of different people
Yeah.
who turn up. And it's
Yeah.
very like it's very, very, very different. You've got
Yeah.
people walking 55
Yeah.
minutes, an hour.
Uh-huh.
You've got
Yeah.
parents encouraging their
Yeah.
kids, which I always think is
Yeah.
just like absolutely unreal. You've got
Yeah.
kids beasting their parents, and the parents are like looking at the
Yeah.
kid going like slow down. Um,
Mm.
and there's just like I think when you go there, maybe at the front people get a little bit competitive, but I think overall
Mm.
it's just like everyone's sort of rooting for each other and
Yeah.
and helping each other. I think
Yeah,
it's
and they do it at 9 a.m. on a Saturday when they could be in bed. I think it's
yeah,
amazing. Um, yeah. Uh, but I shouldn't have been intimidated by a park run, but I was very intimidated when I started running. And then yeah, but now I think it is the best way to start your day. Um, and if it happens to be by a good cafe, obviously that's a massive bonus. If you can build a little bit of adventure to it as well, that's great. But yeah, and I know everyone has a different measure of what they think like a long medium run is, but I always really appreciate when I am fit and well enough to be able to do a park run. I feel like yeah, it's a big milestone for me if I'm ever kind of recovering or not feeling my best.
yeah.
It's also
Um,
great doing longer training as a sorry, as a parkrun sandwich. A parkrun sandwich is a fantastic
that's a
tool
top tip. You
in
should have kept that for the end.
oh sorry.
You should. You
Yeah,
got
well there we go, we can end it here. But I can't remember who told me about parkrun sandwiches. It was someone at the club, but they are a fantastic way to build in a little thing into your long distance training.
you get a little bit of gossip in between as well. I used to do that on my long runs. Run the park
Yeah,
run, do a hard
yeah,
park run, talk to
yeah,
people at the end of it, then go, oh shit,
yeah.
got a little bit longer to do. But I've had fun. You just get FOMO if people are
Exactly.
going for a coffee. That's the only thing. So you're like, I'll do a loop, but I'll
Yeah,
just conveniently finish back at the
yeah,
coffee shop.
yeah.
But no, I
That
agree.
is the
I
truth.
agree. A park
Yeah.
run sandwich is a that should be like added to the park run dictionary. I
Yes,
think
I think so. Yeah,
we
we'll
need to
email
campaign.
them.
I've never heard of the terminology, but I rate it very highly. And obviously, you said as well that you mentioned a couple of times already that the club is a central part to your life in the
Mm-hmm.
touring.
Mm.
Um, you are known. You get wound up by me because I call you a social butterfly, but you
I
get
don't
about
like
the
it when you
groups.
call
You
me.
get about the
I
groups.
do get about the
Um,
groups. That's true.
so for those who don't know, I guess, subgroups, and for £40, is our membership £40,
I
£50?
have no idea. I'm really sorry. Sorry, Simon. Don't
One of
know.
the two. You get
Worth
a lot
every
of
penny.
you get a lot of value because
Aye.
as well as your Monday night and your Wednesday night, there's a lot of non-official but very collaborative groups that get
Yeah.
together to do more than just do more than just the club nights, and Ellie's going to talk a bit about them because she's part of pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
No?
Um, yeah. So definitely have a watch out on the WhatsApp group. Every now and again, all the WhatsApp group links get posted. And even if you do mainly archive them, I definitely say they're worth joining. Obviously, depends on your like social media style. Um, but yeah, so book club. I don't think many people are aware that JJ's has a book club. But we meet monthly. The books we choose are always released 3 months in advance, so you can kind of see what's coming up. And the books are chosen by members. We just read Coasting by Elise Dowling. Um, and that's a running related book, and that's really interesting, but they're not always running related books at all. um and yeah, we meet once a month on a Thursday about 7:30 and get together, have a chat, discuss the book. Occasionally, no, we do discuss the book. And yeah, it's a really, really nice way of prompting you to read and kind of meet people in a different context. So yeah.
Maybe I should join because I am trying to read more books.
Yeah,
Um,
it is really, there's a
and
books on there that I would have
yeah,
never read if it wasn't for book club. So if you're looking to expand your reading, then
yeah,
and also learn about people's different opinions. We've had some really interesting books like on ultra processed food, and hearing a wide range of people's views on that has been really interesting.
yeah. Best not speak to me about that topic, but
Yeah.
the
Another podcast.
the yeah, I think with my goals of trying to read more, it would certainly be a good way to add that in, and certainly
Mhm.
because you've got a month, it stops you sort of leaving it by the bedside table. I mean, if you
Yeah.
take things as seriously as me as I probably would come and turn up with notes and bullet points
No,
and thoughts.
people do, and I always really appreciate when
Yeah,
people do keep us on track. So yeah.
because what I've started doing, I started using Goodreads, and I leave like a very
Yes.
comprehensive review
Very
of the
good.
book I've read, and then I'd leave my review first, and then I'll go back and
Yeah.
read the others to see whether my opinion is the
Yeah.
same or is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of books, what is your
Yeah.
favorite book of all time?
Oh, oh, tricky. It wasn't actually a book club book, sorry everyone. But my favorite book this year, if I can do that,
Yeah.
um, was, I was thinking about this earlier because I knew actually you were going to ask me. It is by Maggie O. Farrell. Oh, I've forgotten her name. It's called The Argonauts. Hold on, let me just quickly Google it. Um, yeah, Maggie O. Farrell, called The Argonauts. Oh no, it's not. Oh no, hold on. Oh, what's her name? Ah, Maggie Nelson. Apologies, Maggie Nelson. The Argonauts obviously made a huge impression on me. Um, but yeah, it's a really great book about motherhood and transition and your relationship to different people, and the style that she writes in is amazing. I also read it on the beach in Sicily, which I think might made a massive contribution to why it's my favorite book. Um, but yeah, it's a bit heavy, but I think everyone should give it a stab at least.
Yeah. My recommendation would be
Mm,
Into Thin Air by John Krakauer, which covers the
interesting. Not heard of that.
1996 Everest disaster, where a lot of people suffered on Everest, but it's an account from a guy who was there as a journalist. He talks about it. It's the
Wow.
same. It's what the movie Everest is based on. It's based on that book.
Ah,
It's a
that's
very
good.
gripping read, and like fuck, will I ever go near Everest?
Yeah. Well, join book club. Add it to the list, Gemma, if you're listening, because Gemma's like our admin and keeps us on track in book club. And yeah, you could add it to the list. That sounds really good.
And your second group that you're part
The second
of?
group. The second one that immediately springs to mind is the swimming and sup stand-up paddleboarding group. Um, be- and this is, well, there's amazing people who are part of that group, who do amazing things. Primarily meet up for a swim in the North Sea at like 3:30. I think it is about 3 a.m. on the solstice. What was the solstice this year? It was about 3 a.m., wasn't it? I remember going
It
to back to
was
bed afterwards.
it was bloody early, I
It
can
was
tell you
very
that.
early.
It's
Yeah, it
worth
was
it.
early. 100%. Oh, like magnificent. I never really feel more alive than when we're in the sea and watching the sunrise. Um, but yeah, it's a great group of people. We try and meet kind of as and when we can, I suppose, is the best way of describing it. Um, to go swimming in the sea and stand-up paddleboarding if you have a stand-up paddleboard. I always feel bad leaving that stand-up paddleboarders out. Um, and there are core group who go, I would say, but it is very much open to everybody. Um, and it's always really important in open water to go swimming with other people who can keep an eye on you and keep you safe. And also, it's more fun doing it with other people. I think that's the major joy I get out of it is the social side as well. And yeah, it's freaking cold, but it's great to warm up afterwards, preferably with a coffee. Yeah.
I've missed doing it for sure. Like with my leg,
Mm,
that I've just felt
yeah.
it's more difficult to walk across sand, especially in my current state. So I've bought a
Yeah.
Lumi for the time being, um,
Yes. Yeah.
which is going to keep me going. But then, yeah, it's so much better
Have you
with
used it
sort of
yet this year,
going.
though?
Pardon?
Have you used it yet since you bought it?
My hose pipe arrives. Should arrive on Amazon Prime today. I bought the wrong hose,
Okay,
but yeah, I'll be
Lumi.
starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll be filling it up
Okay,
while it's in work. It'll take about 4 hours to fill up probably, but yeah, I'll be using it.
exciting.
Do that, and then when I
Woohoo!
can walk like a normal human again and
Come back to
stop
the
walking
beach.
like I look like I've done a poo, then we'll go to the beach. Sorry if that's inappropriate.
You'll get there.
That's the
Um,
physio's feedback, not mine, by the way.
okay.
Yeah, so I think yeah, dipping's a huge one, and stand-up
Mm,
paddleboarding especially. And if you're really lucky, this is my top tip for stand-up paddleboarders.
yeah.
If you're really lucky with the way the water is in
Mm.
the summer and you're confident, when they do the Mouth of the Tyne festival, if you paddleboard to the back of the castle, you can
Yeah.
listen to it. So if you just take
That's a
like
good
a few
idea.
things on your paddleboard, a couple of drinks, it's a really good way to listen to the Mouth of the Tyne festival. There's been
Okay.
some, there's been some phenomenal acts throughout the years. The
Yeah.
Scrapes, Sam Fender. It's quite a good, it's
All
quite a
good
good thing to
bands.
do.
Yeah.
And then you also are a frequent visitor of yoga as well.
Oh, yeah, Hannah's yoga. Um, Amazing. Again, another wonderful group of people. Uh, and I would definitely, I just feel like I'm advertising all the clubs here, but they are all amazing. And particularly with Hannah's yoga, I would say for a lot, some people might be quite intimidated by yoga. We all can't touch our toes. There's like, I think in every session, there's only like Hannah and maybe one other person who can touch their toes. And it's also quite strength based as well. So I find it really helpful um, to not overstretch. I'm always conscious of overstretching, especially as a runner or someone concentrating on their running. You need to maintain that spring and not actually loosen your muscles too much, I believe. Andrew, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the best stretcher. I think my interpretation of stretching and yoga is you should do it. If you're going to stretch, you should do it in like a yoga
Yeah.
environment with a yoga instructor,
Yes.
and they sort of incorporate the right levels of
Yeah.
stretching to sort of doing a bit of strength and a bit of core work in there. Um,
Um, yeah. And that's what Hannah does. So definitely, if even if you don't consider yourself a yogi or you don't have a mat, someone normally has a spare mat. Someone's rescued me with their spare mat quite a few times, and yeah, it's a really great way to do a bit of cross training, a bit of strength, and also uh, there's a Hannah does this really special thing at the end where in the meditate there's a bit of a meditation or like a bit of lying down with your eyes closed. Um, and she often reads kind of a passage or a poem out, and it's always really relevant to the season. And kind of if the Great North Run's coming up, it will be about taking on a big challenge. And yeah, it's always really thoughtful, and it really just sets you up mentally for the week. Um, and she often shares them on the group afterwards as well. Um, and yeah, it's a really, really great thing. I really appreciate that she does them with her insanely busy timetable. So yeah.
Yeah, I tried yoga for the first time before my second operation. I didn't go to the
Hey,
JJ's yoga, but
that's your mistake.
Robbie and
Yeah.
Louise were back
No.
up north. I met them and went
Yeah.
to a session, and I'd
Oh
probably do
yeah.
them. I'll probably do them once a week again um after I can get a bit more range of motion. I can go side to side and stuff. I thought it was really
Yeah.
good, and I felt felt pretty refreshed coming out of it. I thought there was like a decent amount of mental clarity as well. I think it's probably also important to note that
Yeah.
quite often see Hannah putting out messages in the chat, and whilst there is
Mm,
a fee attached to the yoga, that is for the high run of the hall. So Hannah does this out of the goodness of her
yeah.
own heart for people.
Yeah.
There's not profit gained from it. And I believe any overpayments for the hire of the hall then go back into investing in hiring the hall the week after.
Yeah. I
So
as
obviously,
far as I believe.
yeah,
Yeah.
so someone is giving up a significant portion of their time week in, week out, to obviously help support the club, and bring a bit more of dynamic recovery, strength, and stretching to people's routines as well. So I think that's really amazing. It's a big shout out to Hannah. Um, it's obviously a really special thing that she does that. And I know that those who go are really, really grateful. Um, Back onto a little bit more about yourself. What is your biggest achievement, do you think, to date in running?
I did get sub 2 at the Great North, which was pretty nice. I don't wasn't expecting it. Um, and yeah, but it was a pretty nice line in the sand to have that under my belt. So, and that's with a loose stop as well. So, yeah, that was good.
And what year did you do that in?
2023. No, 2024, 2024. No,
The year just
no,
gone? Or no,
23.
yeah. 23, so it was scorching then as well. That was the
Ah,
really
yeah, it was
hot,
really hot.
really hot one.
It was a really hot
Sub
one.
two's brilliant. Yeah, sub two's brilliant because that was. I went out and did a run that morning. It was baking.
Yeah,
And sub two,
but
it's a slightly hilly course until you get a South Shields
yeah,
as well. It's a really tough course. That's a
but
phenomenal
I
story.
have to say I had the best conditions because I remember Emma Hicks and Jane Pugh and we put ourselves in pink. So we were really, really far back. So we started really late in the day, and by that time, because it was before the deluge, so we actually got like the perfect time between the really hot temperature before the rains came, and whilst we were waiting in the pen we were also next to the stack of water, so we just really hydrated. So actually we had really, really good conditions for the start of the Great North. And I still had fun, like I still had the beer and everything like that, but it was yeah, it was a different experience actually racing, because I got like 8 miles in and I was like, oh, I know I probably can do sub 2 if I keep on this pace. um and I don't know if I enjoyed the uh I don't know, the actual racing part of it, I suppose. I definitely think the Great North is one that you should just go along for the experience, and like take every sweet and have a nice lolly and have a glass prosecco halfway through. That's probably
Yeah.
not great to say as the part of the running club, but yeah,
I think it's like a really immersive atmosphere. Like the one time I did
yeah.
it, even though I was on death's door, I've always wanted to get back in it and do it
You've
again.
only done it the once.
I'm
You've only
itching
done it
to
the
do,
once.
yeah, I've only done it once. I'm
Wow.
itching to do it as a pacer. If I couldn't do it as a pacer,
Mm, yeah,
then I'd like certainly just want to run around with
yeah,
someone and just have a laugh. Like you say,
yeah.
take
I
the
think that's
ice
the best way to
pops,
do it.
take the little, what do you call them? Like the little, the ice. Do you know, it's like sort of triangle, and you push it
Yeah,
up, and it's
do.
like an ice pop.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You've cut off the top of it
The
with
top, yeah,
scissors.
like,
And then
yeah,
people
I
are
know the
just
things
giving
you
them out, and
mean.
you're like, "What on earth?" But
Yeah,
only in the
they're
Great North Run
amazing.
would you, like, ever take one. And this
Yeah, and
guy with a
also,
hose who's standing hosing people down. I'd
yeah.
probably just have a little shower.
And when you get to
It
the
is
beer
really fun.
thing, go get the stout, get the lager. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
recommend.
It is a brilliant race. I think it does, like, wonders for the Northeast and the Northeast economy
Oh,
and everything
100%.
like that, and, like,
Yeah.
how many people it brings. Certainly, definitely one of the better half marathons to get a PB at because it's really bloody busy. You're touching elbows the whole way. It's
Yeah.
really hard. The inclines on it are really, really difficult. It's a really hard half marathon, even though you
Yeah,
finish
although
on that downhill. But the downhill's only that, like, final
oh yeah,
bit.
I
It's
know. I
hard to get.
definitely
It's
have.
hard to get there.
It is hard, and but I would have to say to anyone who hasn't done it, when I started the club, people were like the hill, and I was so intimidated about the hill on the Great North Run. It's not that bad. You get up it, it's fine. So, but I honestly thought there was gonna be like
Yeah,
Everest
yeah,
halfway through
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's not that bad.
No,
You get through it.
it's all just really discreet. It's hard. It's
They are
discreet in
discrete
the drag.
hills.
It's more. It's not a hill. It's a drag. It's a
Yeah,
very
that's a
pain.
good way to put
Very,
it.
it's a
And I think
painful
it's just because of
drag.
the
It's not.
placement
Yeah,
of it as well.
yeah,
Like, what is it?
definitely.
10 miles in?
Yeah, and
About
then
that. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Is it about 10 miles in? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's when you come off
Anyway.
that roundabout and yeah, you go. It's good, but I think that's a
And you're like, I'm
certainly a hell of an
still can't
achievement.
see the sea. Where am I?
Yeah,
I want to finish it now.
yeah. And then lastly, before we go on to some quick fire questions, what is your ambition, or what are your future ambitions for running?
So future ambitions. The next year is on rest and recovery and focusing on local races. So hoping to go back to my favourite race, which is the Sunderland 10K. Um, big fan of that. I'm away for the Great North this year, which is a bit of a sad one. But Bladen, I've never done Bladen because I always forget to apply in time. I know I always miss the entry date and it's always over too fast. Um, but I'd love to do Bladen and yeah, just some more local races. I think we're so lucky, especially actually coming from maybe I just wasn't in the zone with it in Surrey, but there are so many well loved and uh, races with a lot of history around here. Like I really like the Anita Knot because it's 5 minutes from my door. But also the atmosphere there is incredible, and the support that the rest of the JJs give is always very much appreciated. And yeah, I think just sticking to small local races. Loved to have done the North Tyneside 10K, but that's in September this year, so I don't know how I feel about that one. Um, but yeah, so that's the kind of I think some people might know that I've been injured for the last few months and steadily building back up. And on Andrew's podcast, we were talking about how recovery is definitely not a straight line. I always think of recovery as like a piece of spaghetti that you throw at the wall and it's just like all over the shop and you think you're making progress and you slip back 10 paces. It's a bit like snakes and ladders. So the ultimate goal this year is to kind of get further up the board in the snakes and ladders situation.
It's a good analogy. I'm going to steal that one for the future.
The snakes and ladders. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
was saying then, I was thinking about, there's always that massive ladder, like block
yeah,
99 that takes you down to 4. And I really don't hope, I
yeah.
really hope I don't land on 99 and go all the way back down to 4.
There's been a
Um,
couple of boards smashed across the living room on that one, haven't
yeah,
there?
yeah, a lot of
Not by me,
anguish.
but I'm sure in a house somewhere,
Okay.
someone, someone has lost their temper. No, I'm pretty sure, like, I see you in the Nuffield way too often, but obviously we we're
Yeah,
sort of rehab buddies together. I'm pretty
yeah.
confident that you're doing will slowly build back up to obviously being able to do these
Thank
local
you.
races, and there's some really good ones in there that you've obviously called out. Sunderland 10K, that was the first time we met
It
if you
was the
lived over
first
there.
time we met. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great race, everybody.
Never
Really
get any,
underrated
never get
race.
any stranger's car.
Yeah. Be careful who you offer to lift share with, that you might be yeah, doing a podcast with them a year and 2 years later. I don't even know. Um
Yeah.
but yeah, and you didn't like the half though, did you, for Sunderland 10K? You said it was too windy. So this, I mean, like, it's not 10K,
Too
obviously it was
windy,
a
and there was a lot of,
half.
it was too windy, so there was a lot of cobbles. I think it's
Yeah.
I don't I think what I said was it's advertised as a fast half, and I don't think it is a fast half.
Yes, that was it,
That
wasn't
was
it?
my
Yeah.
that was my opinion. But yeah, I think
However, the 10K is brilliant, and I love that
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
can get the metro. Well, I've actually never got managed to get the metro because they've always been off, but you can theoretically get the metro down, run round a beautiful course. You know, you run along like Roker, and then back up and in, back along the bridge, and then you're back in Newcastle for lunch. It's a great day. So yeah.
Back at the right side of the river. Right. Some quick fire
Oh,
questions to finish. Running or swimming?
oh, that's really hard. Um,
Might be easy.
yeah. I I th- I don't know. They're both really different. What kind of swimming as well? To throw it back at you and give myself a bit more time to think.
Proper
Pro
swimming.
you mean like pool, like lane swimming?
Yeah, or using your arms. Beyond dipping.
Okay, well then running. Not dipping.
Okay.
Like dipping's its own category. Yeah, I don't really like lane swimming. Much
Road
prefer
or
running.
trail?
It's the social aspect as well. Road or trail, did you say? Trail.
Favorite running race? Sounds like the
Yeah, this is a tricky one. This is kind of a cop out answer, but and obviously the Sunderland 10K, but the one that kind of pips it was the old Jelly Tea course. I only managed to do it the once. I loved the Jelly Tea. I think it was really well placed because you do it in kind of the build up to the Great North. It was a lovely course, on road mainly, but beautiful scenery. And then you get a cheese sandwich, a pot of jelly, and a cup of tea afterwards. It was an excellent day, and I'm really sad that they changed the route.
favorite dip spot?
Oh, I was actually thinking about this. What's the bit of the Tyne that we go up to? Cholerford.
Yeah.
Cholerford. I'm a huge fan
Off
of
the jetty
Cholerford. I
at the
really like.
hotel.
Nah, other side on the
At
banks.
the sides.
You just
Where you
slide down the
twist your ankle
banks.
getting in.
Yeah, and you rip your wetsuit
Okay.
like you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
is that throwing shade? Was it a proper swim?
No, I just remember you like
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you did something to the
No, right.
zip on your wetsuit and you were like, this is a really
Oh, yeah,
expensive
yeah,
wetsuit, and then
yeah.
you'd ruined it.
You can't have cold. You're in a wetsuit. I thought you said that.
No. No, if you get in the water, you're doing very well. I do not throw shade at anybody choosing to get into a cold body of water voluntarily.
And last two questions. Best coffee in the local area and the best pastry in the local area.
I don't feel like I'm authorized to speak on coffee, as I actually really don't like coffee. It's more of a necessity for the caffeine rather than the taste. Um, but saying that, I have a new favorite, and this is thanks to Charlotte. Olive coffee in Jesmond. They do a Spanish, is it a Spanish latte or a Spanish cappuccino? It's great. It's a really smooth blend. Have you been?
No.
Oh, to Olive. No. Oh, you should go to Olive. It's in a Barber's. It's a bit weird, but definitely I'd go and try Olive. It's a really nice roast.
Pastry?
Pastry. They don't do it at the moment. Um, which is really annoying. They haven't done it for months. I like a pan suisse. That is my pastry of choice. Do I need to say a Greg's one here? If otherwise you're never
No.
going to talk to me again, or can I say my true
No.
feelings?
True feelings.
I do love a Greg's croissant. I think they're really underrated. Um, the only bad thing about them is you stop selling them at 10 a.m. If you could expand that, that would be great. And but apart from that, it's a pan Suisse. They do them at Northern Rye, but they haven't for months. Um, and yeah, they do them at Sutton Society as well in Whitley Bay, but I don't. They have smaller opening times, so they're harder to get around to. Um, yeah.
And lastly, one piece of advice that you would give to other runners.
Um, join a club. um, I think that it's a great way to get out when you don't want to run, and it opens your world to different kinds of running. I also think it's really important for, it's a bit of a boring point, but for your safety in the winter when it's dark and cold. I think it's really important to run with other people, apart from those kind of like nicer benefits of going along for a nice chat. Um, so yeah, I definitely join a club. I think that's a really good piece of advice. I
I don't
just
know that
sounded like a
anyone. I don't know that
spokesperson
any.
too much.
I don't, I don't know that anyone outside of the club is going to listen to this podcast, but
Okay.
I hope they do, and
True.
I hope they do, and
Yeah.
I hope they do, and
Yeah.
I hope they do, and then I hope they join, and then you'll get your
Well,
commission.
maybe. No. But if,
No,
or if they're thinking about leaving the
that's a
club,
great
which is obviously fine and you have your own reasons, but yeah,
that's a great
I
piece of
don't think,
advice.
yeah.
Right, thank you very much. I'm sure
Thank
everyone will
you.
join me in wishing you well on the road to recovery. I'm very excited to
Thanks.
probably go and watch you at some of these local races and hurl abuse from the sidelines.
Yes, amazing. Can't wait.
See you,
Right.
everybody. Ellie Nicklin.
Thank you. Bye.